Hello everyone, Lawrence here from Unicorn Reviews with some very affordable RGB lights for beginning YouTubers who need some stuff to, light up scenes or when you're doing product reviews, make some fancy B-roll with RGB lights. These two are $30 and this one's $33, so they're under $100 for the three of them. Very affordable stuff, but definitely not cheap. And other than missing a brand name on the box, they're actually pretty nice. So these were sent to me by Digitalfoto.cn, so a Chinese web shop. What we're going to do is unbox them one by one. I'm going to start with the big boy, and as I do that, I'll turn off the studio lights and swap over to these lights to illuminate the scene. So let's get rid of the two small lights and start with the W200RGB. It's called the W200RGB because it's a light that's 200 millimeters wide and has RGB lighting. If we look at the box right here, you can set it from 2500 Kelvin to 9000 Kelvin. You have HSL control. It's magnetic, so you can stick it to, metal objects, iron holding metal objects, 20 built-in scenes. And on the back you also get some extra info about what's in the box, but this is an unboxing, so there's a better way to do that. It's a very simple box, almost no plastics used other than for the little tripod. You get a tiny little manual, but it's very self-explanatory. USB-C cable for charging, love that it's USB-C. You get a mini tripod and the light itself. Now, the mini tripod, not bad actually. It doesn't have like a ball head or anything, but it's just a plastic little tripod that you can use to vertically mount this light. Now, the light itself, if you look on the side, this is a 120-degree diffuser, but then you have tripod thread up here and on the other side as well. But there's also angles, so if you put it down, you can actually angle it a little bit. And then there's of course also the back, which holds a little display area and a cheat code because of HSL gives you a degree, and then the number on the screen correlates to the number over here if you set it to the RGB mode. Right now 0 degrees, so that correlates to the 0 on here. Alright, so now that the camera does actually focus, the 0 over here correlates to 0 over here, and if you then go up in the degrees on the screen, you can see it actually follows the color graph over here. Pretty cool stuff actually. Of course, there's also the scene mode, which we'll just cycle through, and there's a bunch of scenes. We'll get into that in a little bit. But it's very nice that you can adjust your color temperature. So right now I have mine set to 5300, but you can cycle through. I'm going to set it back to 5300 right now. And then I'm going to use this light to do the unboxing of its smaller brother, which is basically the same, but it's only 10 centimeters wide instead of 20. There you go, autofocus. And it's basically exactly the same packaging. So you have your manual, tiny tripod, USB-C charge cable, and the 10 centimeter version of this light. Now, what I'm going to do here is show you guys through the different modes. If you are epileptic, you may want to skip ahead a little bit. You turn it on exactly the same way, and again you have your color control, so you can make this one as hot or as cold as you want when it comes to your color control. If you press the little mode button, you can go to brightness, because you can also adjust the brightness of these lights. So I took the 200 and set the brightness to 50% because I was overpowering this one a little bit. Right now this one's set to green light at 100%. Of course you can then cycle, and there we go. Now we have blue light, and then it should turn purple, then red again, like so. But we're going to show you guys the different scenes that are available. So if you again press the mode button, you have a fireworks scene, a TV to simulate TV. So the idea is you point this at someone's face and it looks as if they're watching TV. There's also a candlelight mode, party mode, a broken light bulb mode, which is, believe it or not the most annoying mode of all, because that's the strobe mode. And then you also have RGB strobe. I guess the main thing, as I said, this is great for YouTubers and people just shooting fancy footage. So I can imagine if you set this one to HSL slow, so it just cycles through the RGB lights, but quite slowly. And then you get like a foreground object. Obviously you would move this thing away a little bit. And then you grab your other one. And again, you can set it to the same mode, HSL slow. And then you have a cool little way of, setting up your lights and illuminating an object. Which brings me to the final one. This is probably of the 3 lights they sent me my least favorite. But I can see it being really useful. So this is the W-S6. It's slightly different packaging. There's no tripod included with this one. And the light is actually in a little plastic bag. But this light... Alright then, so we moved the camera around just a little bit so I can really show you guys this thing, and a feature dash imperfection which may be handy to some of you but maybe not. As you can see, if you put it in this RGB color light, there's quite definitely some banding around the outsides where one side is bluer, one side is greener. And this kind of happens throughout the entire range. So as I cycle through the color, right now you can see, for example, we're putting out a purple-ish light, but we do get blue over here, red over there. Let me just get rid of the other lights to make it even more obvious. But there is a bit of color banding on the outsides. Now, this can be great if you want to use it on purpose, and it can be really annoying if you don't want this effect at all. It is a bit in frame, so if I zoom into... think 24 millimeters, there's really no evidence of it, so it doesn't really show this somewhat annoying banding. And if you put it into the white or the just bicolor mode, it's almost not visible at all that there is any sort of banding going on. You can see right now it's right next to the wall. And it's a very nice and smooth transition. So depending on what you want to use it for, this can be either really handy or useless. Alright then guys, so the W200, W-S6 and W100RGB lights by Digitalfoto.cn. Check out the links in the description if you want to pick these up yourself, because they are super affordable at only $93 for all 3 of these. That's just basically free. I wish this sort of stuff existed back when I was actually putting effort into shooting B-roll for my videos. I can imagine that to a lot of you these are incredibly handy, and therefore I would just recommend you get them. The only one that I'm not super sold on is the W-S6 because of the weird color at the end of the lens. Or at the edges of the lens, but really that's a non-issue if you just zoom in enough. So that's that. Guys, if you like this video or if you have any questions, let me know. And thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers!